Hello, and welcome to The Vegas Voice on AM 1400 KSHP Las Vegas. The Vegas Voice brought to you by The Vegas Voice magazine, the free monthly magazine. It's the voice for your health, wealth, and good times. Hi, everybody. John, the announcer here, and what a show we got on tap today. Amazing singers are in the studio with us. Up first, the spectacular singer-songwriter Michelle Johnson. But first, we bring on the host. Here is comic impressionist Rich Natole.
And we have the amazing John, the announcer, the modern-day Casey Kasem. That's what we call him. We have got a great show right now. We have Michelle Johnson in studio. Website, michellejohnson.com. She's doing a tribute to Ella Fitzgerald. And that's going to be April 19th at 8 p.m. at the Smith Center. And you have a special guest, right, on that show?
I do. I have Jane Monheit. She's a friend and a wonderful singer. She's been nominated for Grammys, and anyone who follows jazz will know who Jane Monheit is, and she's going to sing a few songs with me as well. So I'm double excited to be doing a tribute to Ella and to have Jane on there as well.
Well, that's so cool. So now Jane will come out and do what, like 20 minutes, a half hour or something?
Well, I don't know about that.
15,
we're going to figure it out. We haven't nailed down the timing exactly because we'll probably do a duet. Mm-hmm. And I do want to give her a spotlight. She has a great album that's a tribute to Ella.
Yeah.
And so I want to make sure she gets a chance to show off those amazing pipes of hers. And then I will be doing songs from the beginning of Ella's career to the later years and really digging into who she was and what made her the first lady of song in this country and a national treasure as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, and that's so cool because that's a great room at the Smith Center.
It is. It has
Cabaret
great
jazz.
sound. Yes, and it's Jazz Appreciation Month in April.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I picked this month to do this tribute. Yeah. And you can hear a pin drop in there. It's going to be a great 10 to 13 piece band. We're still figuring that out. And I'm excited. We're going to do a lot of the original Nelson Riddle charts. Obviously, we won't have a full orchestra, so they'll be modified a little bit, but we're taking the sanctioned charts from the Ella Fitzgerald Foundation. Wow. And so you're going to hear like the original stuff. And
That's excited. So cool. Now, how do you get your musicians for that show? Do they work with you in other places?
Well, I've lived here a long time, and I know lots of incredible musicians. Las Vegas is, in my opinion, has the top musicians in the world. I really have always said that. We have the privilege of working frequently every night in different kinds of shows, so you have a lot of versatility in the talent here. So I have this great pool to pick from. And there's going to be people that you recognize from all the shows across the Strip. And Bill Zappia, for example, he's the MD, the music director, and he's Terry Fader's musical director.
Oh, wow.
They have the night off on Friday, so I get to have
good.
Bill music direct my show, and it's going to be great.
Yeah, how awesome is that? I'm talking to Michelle Johnson, and she's doing the tribute to Ella Fitzgerald on April 19th, 8 p.m. at the Smith Center in the Cabaret Jazz Room. Now, if they want to get tickets, they go to the Smith Center.
They can go to the Smith Center website, or if they want to write this down while they're listening, it's bit.ly/Ella Tribute. And that's a little shortcut that will take you right to the Smith Center website. And you can get your tickets there. They tend to go fast. That room only holds, I think, about 240 people. And my shows usually do sell out. I'm very blessed to be able to say that.
That's awesome.
So don't wait and think, I should go see it. If you love Ella and you love jazz, you should definitely go grab your seats now. There's not a bad seat in the house, though.
Yeah, that's a great room. And I think the 200 plus seats, I think that's a great size.
For me, it is, because I'm a storyteller and I'm more of a cabaret artist than like an arena type singer. I mean, I've done those things. I've been lucky enough to do them, but that doesn't mean that's my favorite. My favorite is where I can hear people laughing to the back of the room, hearing glasses clink, and I just like the intimacy of that room. And they have a brand new sound system. They have two of the best audio guys I've ever worked with. We call them the Kevins. You guys have probably heard of them, Kevin Richmond and Kevin Harvey. I'm sure I ruined Kevin R's name just now. Sorry, Kevin. But both of them are great. And it's just a great room. And Myron has given us this jewel in the desert where we can do these upscale, high-class shows in this intimate environment. It's like the best of both worlds. You feel like you're at Lincoln Center. It's incredible.
Yeah. I never liked those rooms that were so big that you'd hear an echo when you talk or
Sure.
You know, like it's like they're it's so hollow, but it's huge. But then it's like there's this delay.
That's that slap.
Does that drive you crazy?
It depends on the situation. Like if I'm doing the national anthem at a big sporting event, I love that. I love that cavernous sound.
Right.
But definitely, if I'm in a theater, I want a theater or a small room where the sound is right, and I'm not having to think about, oh, there's 3 seconds of me, and I'm on to the next phrase. Especially singing jazz, that can be a troublesome issue.
Yeah, as a comedy performer, that drives
me
crazy.
Of course, because you have to think about timing when you do comedy, right?
And I go like, I did that joke, and they're laughing 3 seconds later. Right. What's going on here?
Right. We notice it as performers more than the audience does. But I like that room because I can see expressions, and when I'm talking about Ella or going into the next tune, I like hearing that little smattering of applause when they recognize, you know how those songs have verses, and then there's like the main part of the song.
Yeah.
I love that moment when everyone goes, oh, I know that song, and they clap. And that's not always as fun in a big room.
Yeah. No, I agree. We're talking to Michelle Johnson, tribute to Ella Fitzgerald Smith Center, April 19th. Get your tickets. It's an 8 p.m. show. We're going to give you a little listen to Michelle Johnson right here.
Yeah, this is a little promo. It's a sort of a medley of some of the songs I'm going to be doing.
And then we'll be back to talk more with Michelle.
Thanks.
Those fingers in my hair that slide, come hither stare, that strips my conscience bare, it's witchcraft. There's a somebody I'm longing to see. I hope that he turns out to be someone who'll watch over me. Day and night, why is it so that the longing seems to follow wherever I go? In the roaring traffic's boom, in the silence of my lonely room, I think of you every single night and day. 'Cause it's too darn hot. It's too darn hot. It's too darn hot. The way you hold your knife, the way we dance till 3, the way you change my life. No, baby, they can't take that away from me. No, they can't take that away from me. Come on, come on. Who will buy? Who would like to sample my supply? Who would like to pay the price for a trip to paradise? La da dum da da dum da da dum da for sale. A tisket, a tasket. I lost my yellow basket. I wrote a letter to my mommy, and on the way I dropped it. I dropped it. Yes, on the way I dropped it. A little girlie picked it up and put it in her pocket. A little yellow basket.
Oh, yeah. You're tuned to the Vegas Voice on AM 1400 KSHP Las Vegas. The Vegas Voice brought to you by the Vegas Voice magazine, the free monthly magazine. Learn more at thevegasvoice.net. Now, here again, the host, comic impressionist Rich Natole.
How about that John the announcer? Isn't he something? I want to tell you. So anyway, we are back. We got Michelle Johnson in studio. Oh. MichelleJohnson.com is her website. I urge you to go on there and learn all about this incredible performer. She's doing a tribute to Ella Fitzgerald on April 19th at 8 p.m. at the Smith Center with special guest Jane
Monheit.
Monheit.
Monheit. Monheit.
Jane Monheit. Does Jane have a website that we can?
Yes, it's probably janemonheit.com. I don't have it off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure that's it. She's
and so
great.
Jane will be performing with you over there. And have you been to the Smith Center before?
I have. I've been blessed. I've played that room 6 or 7 times. I've done different shows there. Every time I've done a couple of repeats, but most of the shows are tributes. I do a Carole King tribute. That's totally different, obviously, from this. Yeah. Carole King tribute. I've done a salute to singer-songwriters. And then we did this show once called Strictly Taboo, and it was to the great ladies of jazz. It was a 17-piece big band. That show almost killed me. It was a lot of work.
So did you?
But it was great.
Did you have special guests?
I
with
did.
You with those?
I had 5 other singers plus myself, and we did tributes to Billie Holiday and Ella and Dinah Washington and Peggy Lee. I mean, it was so much fun.
Yeah,
and I just like that music, but I try to change it up every quarter or so and do something different there to keep my fans engaged and also to keep myself having fun. Yeah,
so you probably have a lot of the people that love your different tributes that come and see the different ones because it's different stuff.
I've been pretty lucky. I have a good support system and a good fan base, but one of the reasons I try to change it up so that I can spread different kinds of music to people who maybe haven't heard of me or haven't seen me before, and I don't like to get stuck in a box where they think that's all I do. A few years ago, I had a great fan that used to come and see me at the Gold Coast. We had this daytime jazz show, and he said to me, Michelle, you know what? You're the first lady of jazz in Las Vegas. And he used to say it all the time. And I used to laugh and say, oh, you're so sweet. You're so kind. And this guy kept saying it and it took off and it became like my moniker, which I love, except that's not all I do. So then I'm like, wait a minute. If people start calling me that, they're going to think that's the only kind of music I sing. It's not. It just happens to be where my heart goes the most. So
right.
That's why.
So now when you started out, what city was that in? Where you started?
Well, I have a little unusual background. I grew up in Cairo, Egypt.
Really?
Yes. I did not grow up in the States listening to jazz. I grew up in Egypt. My dad is Liberian, and he was the Liberian ambassador to Egypt. Oh. My mom is American. Yeah. But my parents played a lot of those records. They played Carole King, James Taylor, Joni Mitchell, and they also played
got all that
Nancy
over there.
Wilson and Ella and all that stuff. So I spent a lot of time in my childhood listening to that music. And then I went to Yale undergrad, and when I was at Yale, I was in a singing group called Red Hot and Blue. And we did a lot of Cole Porter songs. Cole Porter was a Yalie, and we did a lot of his songs. It was an a cappella singing group. So I learned how to hear and sing that tight harmony jazz in that group. And it just opened my eyes to Ella and all kinds of other singers in the way that they scat and work with any band in any combo and make it sound great.
Yeah, and so now did you go from there to Vegas? And what point was
after
that?
Yale, I moved to New York, and I became a session singer, and I started touring and recording with different headliners.
Yeah, because your bio is very impressive. I mean, Gladys Knight, Paul McCartney.
Well, some of that
Streisand.
happened. Some of that happened here. I mean, the Paul McCartney story is that he was at the Hollywood Bowl, and I was singing with a band called PM Dawn, and we were all guests of him for Earth Day at the Hollywood Bowl, and I got really lucky and got pushed to the front of the stage at Hey Jude. And
great on the resume.
I got to sing with him. He held my hand.
Sing
we
with
talked
a Beatle.
for 30 minutes.
He's singing with a Beatle.
He was so nice to me. We talked for about 30 minutes about our career. He's so humble. He'll walk up to you and say, "Are you a musician?" And you'll say yes, and he'll go, "So am I." It's like, no kidding, Paul.
Is that like what he'll say? Yeah.
Yeah, he's like really humble. But that experience, those experiences of touring and doing things like that was mostly while I was based in New York. But when I moved to Vegas, one of the upsides was I didn't have to leave in order to work with these stars because they all move here. Mm-hmm. So the Sheena Easton gig started because I met her here. I was with her at when it was still the Hilton. Yeah. And the Gladys Knight story was a tour, but if I had not lived here, I would not have met her and not been able to go on tour with her either. So
now Streisand, was that here too?
Yeah, the Streisand gig was, I got a call I have a gospel choir that does corporate events. And because most of these events are in the day, the singers in the choir are people that all sing in shows across the Strip or in bands and lounges. But in the day, we're available. So it's called the Desert Angels. And I got a call from Streisand's people asking if we would sing with her at the MGM Grand. So, of course, her being one of my favorite singers of all time, I thought it was a hoax and hung up on the guy. And he called me back. He's like, "No, really, really, it's really Babs' person." And of course I said yes. And I brought 40 singers with me, local talent. And we did this show at night at the MGM Grand for her concert.
So was she nice? Did you get a chance to talk?
I didn't get to talk to her, but I know this sounds weird. I met her, but it was in the flux of rehearsal and then the show. So I snuck in. I wasn't supposed to, but I snuck in and caught like 2 minutes of her sound check before I got chased away, and so that I could calm my nerves because I was really nervous to have this choir with Bill Fain conducting and working with her. But then at the show, during the song, she turned around and she looked at me and she put her hands together and nodded a thank you to me, and I thought I was going to die because it's Barbra Streisand. But it was very exciting. And I guess she does that in each city. She'll nod and thank the choir director. So that was great.
Right. So she was doing like a big tour, and then they would do pick up singers in different cities?
That's pretty common when people go on tour. They'll come with their rhythm section and their conductor so that they have a comfort level, but they're not going to travel necessarily with 40 singers or, 20 string players. So they'll pick up their orchestra, their horn players, and their singers, whether it's backups or a big choir. And so luckily my choir's gotten to sing with these headliners that come here and do these big events.
Comedians, we just pick up laughers everywhere we go.
Yeah, you guys
can we just get some people that are just going to laugh? So if we bomb, we still hear laughter.
You have to bring your plants with you. You can't pick up plants. They have to be reliable and loyal.
Yes. We're talking to Michelle Johnson. MichelleJohnson.com is the website. Tribute to Ella Fitzgerald, April 19th, 8 p.m. at the Smith Center in the Cabaret Jazz Room with special guest Jane Monheit. JaneMonheit.com is what we think the website is.
No, it's JaneMonheitOnline.com.
Oh, okay. Thank you, John, for correcting that.
Thank you for fixing that.
JaneMonheitOnline.com is the website for Jane, and she's going to be the special guest over there. So now, where will you go after that? When you're done with the Smith Center, do you go on the road a lot, or?
Well, I do tour with Sonny Turner's. Do you know who Sonny Turner is? He's the former lead singer of The Platter. I work with him. I'm one of the singers, so I tour with him sometimes. But I think my next big event, what is happening? I think I'm back there actually in August. I'm back there in August doing something called a Salute to Singer-Songwriters back at Cabaret Jazz.
Yeah.
And in the middle, I'm actually recording an album. So I haven't been doing as many shows this year because every year I say I'm going to record, and then every year goes by and I haven't done it. Yeah. And I want to do that.
You got to get in there and record. You know, we were talking the other week about what was amazing. We had Elvis impersonator on blanking on his
Justin
name. We had
Shandor.
Justin
Oh, I know
Shandor on.
Justin.
And we were talking about how Elvis, thank God he recorded so much.
Right.
Because he died so young.
Right.
But the guy was recording all the time. And think about if he didn't, we wouldn't be
You know,
I
think especially in Las Vegas, people... I moved here from New York, and people who don't understand the Las Vegas entertainment scene don't realize we are the hardest working entertainers. Yeah. Some of us have like 4 gigs in a day. You know, we might do a session in the morning, have an afternoon show, and then go do a gig for a supper club or something, and then we're working into the night at a lounge. Yeah. We're super busy, but what happens is you become a little bit of a worker bee, and maybe you don't record those originals that you have in the back of your head. And so I'm at a place in my career where I really want to record my originals and do some jazz covers, and those are the 2 albums I'm working on right now. That's a great way to look at it. Michelle Johnson, michellejohnson.com. Tribute to Ella Fitzgerald, again, April 19th, 8 p.m. Cabaret Jazz at the Smith Center. Tickets available on the Smith Center. Is Smith Center LV? It's the Smiths. I believe it's the Smith Center. I don't know what their website is. I thought it was Smith Center LV. But the best website, I know, I'm sorry, I'm like getting an F in websites today. Yeah. But you can go to bit.ly/Ella Tribute, and that takes you right to my page, and there's a little video promo for the show, a blurb about the show, and a link to buy tickets. And pick up those tickets, folks, because she's going to sell out, because she always does. Michelle Johnson, thank you so much for being here. Thank you. My pleasure. We'll be right back, John.
Folks, you're tuned to the Vegas Voice on AM 1400 KSHP Las Vegas. We're going to go to break by going out with one of my favorite songs in the whole world. This is Michelle Johnson doing I'll Be Seeing You.